Welcome in, folks. Welcome in. Thank you so very much for being here. I surely do appreciate it. Omni, what's happening here in our new time slot? What's going on?
Oh my god, it's incredible.
Cats and dogs are friends outside? It's
weasels
madness.
and mice working together. Wow, that's accurate. Hello everyone, I'm the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American, and welcome back to Mouse Guard the Frontier, now in our sexy new every other Thursday time slot. Wave hi to my friends and my players. Red, as a big thank you for popping in, because I love you and I'm so happy that you guys are getting up a new place.
Bro, I miss doing this.
Yeah, man. Guess what? Take yourself 2 extra Persona and Faint. You 100% are gonna fucking need it by the end of the session.
Well, knowing what's happening.
As for everyone else, who wants to do the thing and get Persona or Fate for a recap for our audience? And you know what? Let's go back a bit. Let's go back to say the duel. I believe that's probably our best place to pick up from with Seer.
We fought a giant hawk, and we all played our parts quite well. Natalie bonked him with a magic stick. He's our friend now. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm sorry to just...
More like a acquaintance.
I love how you can just take a big grandiose event and condense it
know.
into a single sentence and just ruin it.
I wasn't trying to ruin
all the
it.
drama.
Well, it isn't ruined. It just condensed into a fun-sized package.
I love it.
Sometimes I lay out everything and then I can get into like, it's like compartmentalization of the brain, right?
Yeah,
So-
no, I got you.
We snuck into this guy's city called Vinecrawl. We did some recon. We met with him and we offered him an ultimatum of fight us out in the open for the lives of your subjects. And he was like, well, I'm kind of honor bound to... we put him in a catch-22, basically. Like, damned if you do, damned if you don't, but, like, super fucked if you don't. And so he came out flying at us, like the giant raptor he is. Yukon launched himself at the burb and sank his venom-laced fangs into him because he is opening up some... probably not so pleasant secrets about the nature of things. Good word to use there. Nature.
Supernatural serpent tetanus, basically. But yes, more or less.
Yeah. So that weakened him enough for us to have Giles and his men throw this massive net that they wove out of like spider silk or something, I think it was, and that stuck him down to the ground where Cyana's shield bearers were able to like encircle him and wear him down enough for her to come and give him the big bonk of friendship, and broke the runic bindings of old magic that were making him subservient to the owls, and allowed, rather than binding him, she chose to let him be free to make his own decisions. You're muted.
I realized that the second I started talking. Yes, I like that. That's good. Go ahead, take yourself either
Nice.
Persona or Fate, your choice. You want to pick up from there, Natalie?
Yes. So after we dealt with Seer, we went back to Vinecrawl, where we learned another fight had also taken place, where sadly one of our turtles perished after getting hit by a fireball, which was not cool. It seems that the attackers were some mice from the Fox's lair or domain. So we decided to split the party up a little bit. Vaunt had some, or not Vaunt, sorry,
habit.
Giles. Yeah, Giles had some.
Yeah, what? Like
Campaign.
2 campaigns from now, I'm gonna go Zarn, and I'm gonna be meaning whatever character Nick is gonna be playing at that time. Because I used to get Zarn and Vaunt fucked up all the
There's gonna be
time.
so much cognitive dissonance, you will literally see me have an aneurysm.
Live on
Just your
stream.
vein, like...
Oh, the art went away.
Anyway.
Oh, it's because I'm updating it because you did free Seer, which does
nice.
mean that our boy has a slightly different perspective, and our boy also has, now that he's freed, blue eyes.
It's Seer the Freer.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I did describe that his eyes changed color in
Very
that
nice.
moment, so I
Yeah,
just wanted to get it done for you.
Mhm.
he's beautiful.
Thank you. That mug is insane. Thank you. I can't even claim this as mine. This is one of the few things I managed to get during the divorce that I actually continue to use.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, Natalie. You can go ahead.
Yes. So Giles had some business or something he wanted to scout out at the Owl Territory. So he has gone off to do that, while Dukan and Sayana are going to scout ahead towards the Foxes area to see what we can learn about them and perhaps take some settlements along the way if they're small. We also got some new troops. We recruited some mice from Vine Crawl. I recruited Trevor and his crossbow mice. I forget their
Shot
actual
mice, right?
names, but they're
Correct.
mice.
Shot mice.
Shot mice, yes. Shot mice with giant crossbows. They're pretty awesome, and they'll work for me now. And Dukan recruited the
Ballard.
other guy,
The torch mouse.
Men. Yes. They've got cool
Light him up.
blue magic balls.
I'm a child.
That sounded. I realized after I said it. They explode. It's,
They paint stuff with like this
it's
iridescent liquid that shines in the darkness, and I'm just digging a deeper hole.
moving on. So we scouted ahead, and I'm honestly blanking a little bit on the last session. Did we actually engage in combat?
did.
Yeah, warfare.
Or
Yeah.
we prepped to? We did.
There was a little bit before that,
In which case,
which I believe we can sort of have you both sort of jump in at the same time. Because as I recall, one of you stayed behind and one of you went ahead to scout. Also, and at this
that's
point, I'm
right.
willing to say, if you want to give me a recap of the last session, because at this point, not only get yourself Fate or Persona, I'll give both of you two an extra Fate and an
Thank
extra
you.
Persona on top of that, because you're probably going to fucking need it.
Oh yeah.
But what about second persona?
Do you want to jump in, Derek?
Yes. Trying to remember how the fight went. There were trees, and we tried to hide our forces. We tried to hide our forces, and then we used. Oh yeah, now I remember. The weasels just fucking destroyed them. Yeah. They kept throwing themselves at us, and we just kept fucking killing. It was an absolute bloodbath. I think like Squeeb might have taken like a single like stab wound that was like, oh yeah, we might want to get that stitched later on. But other than that, like it was a slaughter. There was some Vulpine forces that did slip away because they were too far back at the for us to even be able to like chase down, and they seemed to know the terrain quite well.
That's fair. You also, as I recall, scouted ahead looking for... I think you were just looking for these folks, right?
We were trying to capture a live Vulpine mouse, and we got 2 of them.
Correct.
3 actually, because I think you caught one, and then meanwhile, while you were scouting ahead, looking for someone to capture, me and the rest of the group that I was with had gone over to look at some old farmhouse type buildings that had been abandoned for a good enough time that, they were fairly run down. I know I found something inside. I'd been looking for some writing, and there was something on the door, but I don't think I had been able to make that out because of my roll. But it did look like perhaps the people left in a hurry or were forced out, because there's potential signs of a scuffle. After looking there is when we got attacked, and though I tried my best to not kill all of the Volpine mice, because Iona doesn't want to have to kill anyone, they all ended up dying except two. What appears to be some type of leader, and then just lower ranked mouse.
That sounds good to me. All right, you both get one more
Sounds
fate
good.
and one more persona.
Yes.
All right. Well, now that I've had a bite of mozzarella stick, thank you, Denny's, we can get to it. So, Giles, we're going to focus on you for obvious reasons. Where we last left off, and I hope you don't mind that I briefly
BFT.
grabbed control of the...
Saying thank you to BFT and to Natisha for the fate point, and a complication arises.
Perfect.
The
That's what I was
complication
hoping
is
for.
me being back for the session.
Oh, perfection. I'm back. Well, you're back, baby. We're back.
If you come back
so,
riding on an owl,
entertainingly.
I come back, belling owls! Just for
First-
me!
First things first, Red. I did want to ask.
Okay.
So I do recall that you actually did get some reinforcements since, which were war weasels, which I have added to your I've added to your ability to use on the battlefield.
Indeed.
In doing so, I wanted to make sure you were okay with the fact that since I know Giles had his rage on for the owl, and with his prior dealings with him, that I'd steered him off towards owl territory. I hope that's okay with you. I just wanted to have a way to get Giles slightly out of the way.
That's what I said I wanted to do anyway.
I had a feeling, yeah.
I said that
Okay.
Giles was going to split off from everybody else and go do his own thing.
All right. So do you wish to continue to do that, or do you wish to steer back to the rest of the party?
No, they got it.
Holy shit.
Okay.
I mean, you heard him.
You'll see. Oh my god, souls!
Hell,
Soul
fuck.
out here.
Good heaven, Morgan.
Thank you, dude.
Okay.
Holy
Thank
shit.
you, buddy.
Great
Much
stuff.
love. Yeah, by all means, everyone get him. You're going to need him today.
nice.
Okay.
So,
Mhm.
I feel this is a good moment for us to update the map for everyone to see. Last we left off, I had already drawn out, there were a couple of new locales for you all to explore and go through. As of today, the map is officially up to date by the latest scribes.
Ooh. Wow.
So, as a result of the prior expedition ending at Vinecrawl, they have appointed the three of you now as captains. And as captains, you now have authority to lead troops on behalf of the expedition, have been given what's referred to as a vanguard force, to lead ahead of the mouse caravan. You've all even chosen your own tortoises to act as sort of reinforcements or strategic weapons. These are not the ones that you guys are transporting your troops on. These are ones purely clad for war, and they are trained for it. So you're leading this advance force through the expedition, through this area, through this region, so that the mouse caravan in force can go out after you, and hopefully the enemy won't know entirely what's coming. Or very least, it won't be quite as easy to attack the caravan from the sides when you're being led by this powerful force. Vinecrawl, after this prior freeing by you guys of Seer, has officially changed its alignment from a empire of the owl, or an empire, owl empire outpost, to a mouse guard aligned outpost, hence why you're now green. And the actual vanguard itself has split in two directions. One half is going off towards a town identified as Bambwick, and the other going towards a town by the name of Thorniter. It's three forces. One commanded by Dukan Diamondback, one commanded by Sienna, and one commanded by Giles. Just one of them has gone a separate way. So, Giles, how would you be beginning this this campaign against the Owls? How far are you willing to commit?
Well, I'm going to go to Bamwick, since
Okay.
that's the nearest location, and I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to take them down bit by bit. So inevitably, that owl that I made the promise to, that he'll give me assistance. There's no possible way he could turn forces on me. I'm literally just going to lead a scorched earth type campaign.
Damn.
I'm gonna burn down everything in my path.
Okay. So, if that's the case, then I'm going to make. I'm going to ask right now, Sienna, do you feel like doing weather watching today? Because it will affect the region.
Oh, let's go for
Claudia,
it.
chance of ashes.
We are currently in summer now. So, summer is the least dangerous of all the seasons, but ask anyone who's ever gotten heat stroke if it's not dangerous, and I'm sure they'll correct you very quickly. We're just making sure we got this right.
Can mice even get heat stroke?
Oh, they can, yeah. Everything can get heat stroke.
Sure that they can.
Here we go.
Before
Before you see,
do I
that's one success.
done?
Let's see what summer brings. You have it beat. So, the question is, do you want it to be warm and humid, summer rain, thunderstorms, or heat waves?
I think warm and humid, since it rained the last session. We could use a nice dry day.
Okay, that's fair. As the morning rises and the sun begins to creep up over the mountains, which for you, Giles, you have left the forest, and Bamwick is just out of the densest of forest and mostly in a scrub. Where before you were under a canopy of trees, now your tortoise and your forces are largely under the shade of grass, which, for a mouse is basically trees. But for weasels, a little bit less effective. There's a little bit of scrub brush here and there. But as you get closer to Bamwick, the heat begins to sort of pick up a little bit, and it begins to get very sticky and unpleasant. But could be worse. You get the feeling it's one of those you might want to manage your marching carefully. It's a very easy way to overexhaust your troops. As you get closer towards this place, you can start seeing why this place is called Bamwick. Bamboo is springing up all over the place in these forests, in this region. Like, where there was forest is now occasionally copses of bamboo shooting to the sky like skyscrapers for you, offering you a surprising amount of cover. So, Giles, does your character have Scout by any chance?
I think I have a hair of scout. I have rating 1.
Roll Scout for me.
Oh boy. I'm already thinking of all the horrible things I can do with bamboo. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you can't just click on it, right? They're gonna run.
Well, that's a success.
So-
All right. So are you just like blitz marching your dudes, or are you like pacing yourself? Are you sending out dudes to scout ahead? What's the deal?
Well, the scribes have pointed out like these locations, right? Do we know their exact location? Do we know anything about them other than like what I'm seeing on the maps? Like that would change my game plan a lot, depending on like how much we actually know currently standing.
That I can tell you a fair bit. As far as the Fox Empire goes, the knowledge that they've given is limited because all this information you've gained from the scribes of Vinecrawl. They're Owl Empire, not Fox Empire. So, there's a limit. There's not as much knowledge transferred here. But what they did tell you, at least from what they have in their records, they can tell you a little bit about each of these different places. Bamwick is the region's primary source of wood for the mice. The bamboo that grows here grows rapidly and allows them to get insane amounts of wood and fiber at incredible speed. This is just, for the entire region, a primary source of resources. So even the Fox Empire trades with Bamwick just to get wood, because it's that often needed. As far as how big the settlement is, you do know that it is a little bit more... It's not like super defended, but there is a small garrison there. It's nothing extreme, though. Largely a couple of bonds mice. This region is really supposed to be more defended by Vinecrawl, since there's a giant fuck-off hawk who lives there. And, well, they don't know that Vinecrawl has fallen yet. So, Bamwick is likely not defended against an attack by you guys yet. They probably don't even really know you're here quite yet. That said, this place is largely farmers and agrarian workers. They are not super into engaging in massive battle. Now, I'll point the other ones out for you. Grain Roost, I figure, is a pretty straightforward name. It's literally a place guarded actually by an owl. Smaller, but still an owl. Not a great horned owl, but just a horned owl. And that one is actually the center, it's literally the breadbasket of the Owl Empire. And more importantly, the breadbasket for their bird auxiliaries. So a lot of their troops get their grain from there. Tash Point is a actual fortress and a very well defended one. It's where a great deal of shrikes and mouse troopers hang out, including a surprising number of bats, who have turned the top of this peak into a fortress, which is very, very well defended, again with larger predators also. Sunvale is the last stop on the way to the capital of the Owl Empire, and is actually kind of pivotal. Sunvale actually watches the seas for anyone who may approach, and if you can claim Sunvale, then you will likely claim the entire western coast of the frontier, or at least the ability to patrol it more readily. Finally, Ricketer, also known as the Tyrant's Roost, is the capital of the Owl Empire. That is where Reek the Tyrant lives. Reek the Tyrant, you'll be familiar with. In fact, out of all the characters, I believe you've seen Reek in your nightmares, very briefly.
Indeed.
If that's the case, then you should see this. That is Reek the Night Terror, as his subjects know him. That's the thing you fucking saw in your dreams. And to put it in perspective,
I don't see it. Do I not get to see it?
Hold on. Oh, yes, of course. There we go. That's why. It's not in all players yet.
Give it to me.
There you go. Now you see him.
Yes! He's beautiful.
I'm going to... Okay.
This one's
Yep.
full.
You come up to
Okay.
his ankle. Just to make that just to put that in perspective. He's big.
I know exactly.
Is that how he looked in the dream, or does he actually look like that?
Giles wouldn't know. That's all Giles has seen of him. Is him
Okay.
in that waking nightmare.
So here's what I'm going to do, right?
Okay.
You ever seen or played Shadow of Mordor?
Oh, I fucking
My
love that game, bro.
brother.
I was literally
what do you
thinking about
think
playing that the other day.
What do you think I patterned half the idea for this campaign off of, my dude? Yeah.
I'm going to go and literally consume this owl and make him mine. That's it. That's what I'm going to
Your
do.
ambition never ceases to amaze me, Red. I love you, buddy.
Bro, okay, I literally told you I wanted to ride a bear, and you're like, okay, you need to like go aim a little lower. I'm like, how about a wolf? And you're like, okay, a little bit lower. So this is an owl. That's what I'm getting, Omni. I shot 2 tiers lower than you wanted me to initially. So give
This
me
is
what
not
I
a fucking
want.
base tier owl, but okay.
What'd you say?
This is not a base tier owl. It's not going to be in the same. It's not going to be in the same fucking category of nature as a regular owl. I promise you that.
Have you played Shadow of the Colossus?
I love that game.
I've
I'm
seen
just
what
saying that,
Evans
like,
can
Red
just
just
saying that,
listing
like-
the bangers today. Yeah, no, of course.
Bro, I have a lot of knowledge about video games that came out when I was
I get
very
nostalgic for Shadow of the Colossus early in the mornings when I'm getting ready for work.
I was wearing a Shadow of the Colossus shirt less than an hour.
I don't know why.
So
It's
yes,
like every day.
young. You just wake up and think, man, I want to climb some big hairy fucking creature's leg and stab it in the brain.
You know, if a psychologist were to break down my brain, they'd be like, "Oh, it's because you see the mundane tedium of going to a day-to-day job
psychologist
as
were to break down
climbing a
your
fucking colossus," and I'd be like, "Yeah, probably."
If a psychologist heard anything that they told you, they would legally be required to call an ambulance.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
I'm
talking with
speaking
one
from
tomorrow. Let's go.
so
I
Red,
woke up. I want to climb a giant.
with
They
Giles,
just look at you like,
it's time for me to get some rolls for you. Eventually,
Okay.
you do come across Bamwick. And this little hamlet is largely undefended from what you see. There is a total of 2 towers, just 2, over this region. And these towers are both small, bamboo, kind of like just ramshackle things. Just tall enough for one mouse to stand at the top of. And even though there's 2, on the road on this side. I should say there's only one on each side. The road goes through the town, so they're kind of on the other sides of the town as well. Even though that's the case, my friend, only one of them is manned, and it's not the one on this side of the town. You get the feeling that they are so lackadaisical here, they just have not put up a defense meaningfully. You can't see any of the Owl Empire bondsmice as far as the eye can see. So, seeing that you see a hamlet in front of you with a number of bamboo farms all over the place, which, for the record, a mouse bamboo farm is actually a farm dedicated to taking care of one stalk of bamboo, basically. And every once in a while, they'll cut it down, and then a whole town will come and chop the thing up and then move it away. This stuff grows so much so that this whole town has come up around what is basically 10 shoots of bamboo. It's enough for them. Population's probably, I want to say, 60 to 100 mice tops. It's so small they have a long house. That seems to be what they primarily operate out of. There's not even any birds that you can see here besides one songbird wearing a silver-plated helm in the distance, just standing on top of the building. A robin.
I was hoping they lived in the bamboo shoots like little condos or something.
I want to
do like
kill
that.
that bird. I'm just trying.
You
to
want to
figure
kill
out how
that
to
bird?
do it. Oh, I just got the fucking most amazing idea. I'm
Go
going.
on.
Giles is going to sneak up to the unoccupied bamboo shoot, and he's going to give his men orders that on his command he wants them to saw down the bamboo shoot and knock it down in the direction of the bird. I'm going to land on top of the bird.
Okay. So you're gonna try to climb up a bamboo shoot, saw the bamboo shoot down, and hit the bird on the way down.
Or land on it. If I manage to hit the bird with the bamboo shoot on the way down, fine. But the idea is to land on it and engage in awesome battle with it.
Okay.
It's just a songbird.
It
It's
is
not like we're
just a
fighting a
song.
hawk. We're not fighting bird of prey here. I think this will be not a. It'll be probably still be a tough fight. But I'm only like half the size of a songbird.
You're roughly about the same ballpark in weight, a little bit heavier, or actually no, a little bit lighter. You could probably ride one of these like a steed. In fact, actually, in the expedition, there are a group of mice who wear full plate and are basically destriers, and they ride birds, and they're called the worm. They're called the withrashers. So, yeah, no, this is about the size of a mouse's steed. So it'd be kind of like charging a draft horse, roughly, in terms of size. Still like your neighborhood. It's not like you're charging a fucking elephant or something, but...
Sure. I hope not. What the fuck would an elephant be? That's bigger than the bear I wanted to ride.
Godlike.
I was gonna
A
say
continent.
a continent.
But they're scared of mice.
Only in Dumbo.
Oh.
You can't. Sorry, Derek. I was thinking the same thing. I'm sorry. Okay.
So that's what you want to do. All right.
Is there
Think
anywhere
so.
Giles can like dig deep down into the? So I'd imagine Giles isn't like super intelligent when it comes to medical stuff and and the like. I'd imagine that if you've ever seen like old draw ups like pre Da Vinci of the human body, it's just sort of like a big weird like sack shaped thing in the middle of the body. So Giles is like reaching down deep into his soul sack, and he's seeing if he can find that weird nightmarish magic that he had down inside of him while he's heading towards the owls. I'm saying this is before he actually arrives at the town. He's using it as sort of like a clairvoyance type thing, or he's attempting to. Well, what would you have me roll for that?
Okay. So you're trying to draw on the well of that magic that the that Reek used to make contact with your mind, basically. Okay.
I'm reverse engineering it with my soul sack.
This would be... Oh, man. For this one... You guys always find new ways to make me wonder about how to make these rolls work. For this red, this is going to be a will roll. Just will.
Fair
You
enough.
gain nothing else to this. Nothing.
I see a 1. That's bad. Oh, 2 5s and a 1.
2 5s and a 1. So that's 1 traitor, so that's 1 success. Versus... I'm just going to make sure I got
I
this
feel
right.
like I need more successes than this.
You'll see in a second, and you'll get to roll.
Okay.
You know me, sir. I don't leave you guys in the dark for too long.
Okay.
It's far too fun to just drop shit in your lap.
Please don't do that. I'm not into that. Oh, good heavens. Let's.
So right now we're looking at a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. Actually, 5 successes. And furthermore, 4 successes. Yes, his dice did just explode.
Not in his favor, though, so that's a good sign. Okay, so
True.
I'm going to start rolling die, and I'm going to roll a 6 right now. Okay, never mind, I'm done.
Okay. So, you reach into your mind to try to find the place where this was, to try to gain some advantage for this. And as you do, Giles, this place around you, which is beautiful, like brilliant beginning of a summer morning. The skies are blue, the grass is green, the ground is that vibrant, like clay color of really rich soil. It's pretty idyllic. And despite this perfect, bright scene, it suddenly starts to go gray. And the light on the horizon begins to retract until all that's left is just a little circle of light where you're standing. And even the tartan of your kilt is gray. You hold your sword up and look at your own eyes. The only thing you can see that has any color is your pupils. And you're a mouse, so that's like barely anything. Like the rest of it's all black. And in the darkness, you see a pair of large red owl eyes glaring at you. And it slowly moves closer, and you realize from the scale of these eyes, one of these eyes is nearly as big as you. And it speaks, and you feel your bones shake with the weight of its words. You try to channel my magic, mouse. You are ambitious. As it just watches you from that posture. You can't see more of it, but you can feel how close it is.
Giles, instead of like buckling in fear, he's just studying, just trying to figure out why he failed and how he can improve. And he's just watching, observing.
This creature is staring at you very intently for a couple of seconds. I'm just going to see whether you have it or not. You're going to make me another will roll.
Excellent. Don't
And
worry,
don't
guys. If I
and thank
die,
you,
it's
buddy.
only a dream, so I don't die for real.
Thank you, by the way, Dylan. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Neris, by the way.
Thank you. Does everybody get those? I don't recall.
That's
They're
for
in
the
the pool,
pool, I
right?
believe.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Which right now we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're at 10 in the pool.
4 successes on the will roll?
Oh,
4 successes. 1, 2. Oh, you might have him beat. You might have him beat.
Oh, owl elf.
You do have him beat here. So, Giles, you stare there for a couple seconds trying to take something in. And as you do, the eyes get closer still. And suddenly you see his face finally come into view. At first, it almost seems like the moon behind the eyes, but it's not. It's just his face with the same pale glow of moonlight. And all you can see silhouetted in that face is the V that implies where his beak is. But there's no shape to it. It's just a void. It almost seems to throb as you look at it. And as he steps closer into the light, and you can see as he does, this massive shadow begins to encroach on it. And you can't see the light on the top of him. It's just black. And he gets closer, and you see a massive trio of talons, each claw as large as a mouse halberd, stretch across the ground. And in your bones, you hear, but really more feel, this sudden hunger, and you realize he will fucking kill you here. He does not need to be present to kill you. He can kill you in your dreams. And you realize he will take your body when you're gone. You have enough energy and time to get yourself out, so however you want to, I will let you escape the dream because of your role. If you did not, he would have made an attack roll on you as if you were in front of him in person. You know enough to know that now. That sympathetic link between you and him, you now see how strong that shit is.
I'm grabbing the pop.
Okay. Jal has foresaw something like this happening because he does not mess around with predator magic. So I'd imagine that he was being sort of he's on his turtle, like he's sitting on like the, I guess what you call the prow, just like you know the frontmost part of the actual vessel, and he just runs the dagger across his wrist, across his palm, and wakes himself up.
Yeah. You wake up just in time for this thing to lunge at you, and just you're not there anymore. Suddenly you open your eyes, and like a flush of cold water on your body, just a chill goes through you, a full grand mal, as you suddenly find yourself awake and alive and here, and on your hand, a bright red line where that dagger has gone, which probably saved your life. And make me a scout roll very quickly again.
Excellent. Okay.
Well done, by the way. Holy shit.
I'm dabbling in the dark arts. I don't know why my himbo, like big meaty fighter characters always end up doing some sort of like soul related magic. I don't
It's
know.
because it's cool, man. I'm not even angry at you for trying.
Well, fucking throwback to those of you who were at the channel when we were doing Iron Medic Mori. I fucking played shortstop. That's literally his whole thing. He was literally this big mundane bruiser, but he could literally reach and punch somebody so hard he could knock their soul out of their body.
Yep. That's how I died. It was
I did it to Derek's character. Failure. Not a horrible failure, but a failure nonetheless.
Given what we're dealing with, I'm going to give you an edge for this one. I'll say that the success on this one was a 3-up, given what I'm describing.
Okay.
So only you'd have caught it. As you wake up and you look out over the village, you see a massive owl shadow pass over it. So large, it casts the entire village into shade. That village is nearly an acre. And it swiftly flies north, faster than anything should, over the mountains, and then just disappears. No one else that you can see around you appears to be panicking or have seen anything. And Arabelle, your equerry, standing behind you with the banner. My lord, are you all right? You look startled.
Giles kind of like smears the blood across the planks beneath him before he just kind of like stands himself up in the same motion. Oh, I am more than fine. I know something. Not completely, I don't completely understand it, but I know of it. And that will inevitably turn the tide. I know how. Perhaps it'd be more dangerous if you did know. I'll keep it to myself. When the time is right, I'll tell you. How's that?
All right. If you're sure. Regardless, we have a town. I'm standing by for your orders, Giles. I know you've been thinking about how to do it.
The unoccupied tower. I'm going to scale it, and you're going to saw it down. I want a team. I want to make sure it lands on that songbird yonder. I'm going to take it. Anybody that tries to stop me, the ground forces will be there to reinforce. Use intimidation tactics. I don't want to kill them. But if they start resisting, burn it.
She turns to look at you, and you can see her eyes narrow. Barnet. A village of farmers. Surely there's got to be a better solution than that.
Like I said, intimidation. I don't know how devoted these mice are. I don't want them to be so devoted that we lose people. I know how people get when they're backed into a corner. I'll do anything they can. Threaten them. Kill them if you must. If you absolutely must. The bird fallen should be more than enough. You heard a scare.
All right. We'll try. All right, men. Get ready. And she pauses and turns to you. If we're going to do this, then you're going to need your quietest folks. I recommend you take the twins with you. And those predators with you too, if you'd like.
No lie. I'll take the children of the moon. And I'll take the twins. If they're able.
Aye. They're ready.
I
Ready
use the
enough,
four of
anyhow.
them. I intend to use the four of them to initially saw down the tower. Afterward, do what you can. I don't want any killing. Unless it can't be prevented. Threaten them. Tell them you're going to salt the bloody field. Threaten them. Nobody's going to listen to a bunch of mice like us walking in, telling them, giving them orders. That's one thing that I don't agree with the Mouse Guard. They try to make friends with everyone. People die when you try to make friends. Sometimes you just got a strong arm. Especially when you got such a apex predator watching over the territories.
All right, fine. We'll wait for your signal. I assume we're talking about sawing the thing down, and when that happens, we'll move into the town quick as can be.
I'll let out a yelp so loud you can hear it from 3 cities over.
Good luck, Giles. And she turns and hands you your blade.
I take my weapon of war.
All right. We're going to cut back away from you. Over to our other group. Out in the Vanguard. Which, by the way, we'll also ask, do you guys need to take a bathroom break? It's been an hour, believe it or not.
Oh shit.
Right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, if we need to, we
Okay.
can.
I'm good to keep pushing on.
Right now.
So, if you need to do it, I'm good.
You want to go to a
Alright.
break, or you want to keep pushing? I don't think we've
I'd-
come to a consensus yet.
I think I could get some
I
water.
think keep going.
Get some water. Okay.
Sounds good. We'll take a buyout.
All right.
Don't go anywhere, folks. Be right back. welcome back, folks. Thank you so very much for waiting. I surely do appreciate you. Omni, what's happening, bud?
Welcome back, everyone. So, Derek and
Yes.
Natalie, specifically Sienna and Jukan, you all have been. God, you've been marching for. You've been marching out towards the east, last I checked, heading towards the Fox Empire, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, if that's the case, then, as I open back up the frontier map on my end, so you don't have nearly as much intelligence as Giles has gone into the rest of the Owl Empire. This is just
How dare
Are
you?
you telling me that I'm smarter than them? Oh my goodness gracious, score one for Giles. bitch.
I resent
Oh,
that.
that's what Omni said.
I'm kidding.
Omni said I have more
tried.
intelligence. Score one for Giles.
so. As you've gotten closer, you have managed to get a couple of details, at least before you left Vinecrawl, from the scribes. It's not too much, but as you're advancing, you are at least alerted by, I believe it'd be Thom, who would likely tell you. Actually, no. Autumn is the one who keeps the books. Thom is very much the one who keeps the troops. And honestly, it's because Autumn is too intimidating for most of the troops to really answer to effectively in a situation. Autumn's just too fucking good at her job. She's the one who would bring it up to you that the town, or really I shouldn't say the town you're approaching, the city you're approaching, is the first point of contact with the Fox Empire. And there's a reason why it is in fact a city. It is a fort. Thornetter is not nearly as well understood as the rest of the Owl Empire, but it is probably the most well-known part, or one of two the most well-known parts of the Fox Empire. It is set in the beginnings of a large briar patch, which is pretty common for a lot of the Fox territories. They tend to weave a lot of very jagged, thorny plants through their terrain and through the forests and shelters that they make. It makes them very hard to attack. This place has taken these thorns and turned them into a sharpened palisade in front of the walls, facing the Owl Empire. There is a way to get through, a gate and a portcullis in the front. Or you could go significantly farther around through rough forest terrain. That is, however, patrolled by the Fox Empire forces. This is what you learned last time, before you even captured anyone. Now, sitting in front of you, where would you bring these 3 captives you have? Because it was 3 captives. You have 2 commanders and 1 schmo.
I have an idea.
Go ahead.
So we take everything from them, right? We stand out in a clearing and we have 2 of our best shots standing next to us, and we say that whichever one remains is the one that's getting questioned.
Can I try talking to my captives first?
I think Dukan would go, well, if you insist.
You do have a captive of your own, if I recall.
Dukan was only able to capture 1 in the Bloodlust. It is a scrawny thing. Dukan does not think he would survive more than 1 arrow.
I didn't mean shoot him. I meant you could question him while I question these guys. But why don't I just talk to all 3
What
of them?
makes you think they will tell us what we want to know?
I would like to give them the chance to do that before you threaten them with arrows.
Very well. The voice of reason.
Dukan kind of makes a face at Cole.
I'm just saying, if Dukan was here with
Why
me,
is everyone so opposed to diplomacy?
We literally just got done fighting these guys. I want to instill terror in them before we make them talk.
Anyway.
That's fair. So,
This is really good cop, bad cop, I guess. Good mouse, bad weasel.
Predator and prey cop. So, are you? So you want to speak with all of them then?
Yeah, we'll round them up.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Before anyone starts poking holes in them.
that's fair. Sienna, your shield bearers were the ones that caught 2 of these mice. So adding the 3rd one in is as easy as Gremble with his good arm grabbing the dude, and just actually no, it was Squeeb who got injured. So Gremble's got 2 good arms to haul this guy in the middle of the shield wall and just let them sort of carry him over. Not entirely unlike surfing on a rave or a concert crowd. They just sort of carry him over and drop him in the middle.
I have a question.
Yes.
Did I see how this little weasel mouse fought? Not weasel mouse,
yeah.
fox mouse. Did I see
Yes.
how he fought?
Yes, 100% you did. He fought like a fucking maniac. There's something about the way these mice fight. They're not coordinated nearly as much as, say, as a point in case example of other mouse empires you dealt with, the people of Midnight's Empire. They fight in a cold, resigned fury, a absolute authoritarian grip of what we would call discipline. But these folks, they don't fight like they're disciplined. They fight like they have to. And these, at least the leader anyway, the one that you got, the fox mouse, more or less. That one was foaming at the mouth when you captured him. He was actually stabbing and shanking, and in fact, he would have, if Squeeb was a mouse, probably killed him. Squeeb, however, has 3 body lengths on him, and even with his tiny arms could hold him at a distance where he couldn't really get an opportunity to stab him. Squeeb did, however, have to disarm him. Because once you got him rounded up and Squeeb went to grab him, he turned his dagger on himself and Squeeb had to stop him. He was willing to fall on his own blade. And I thank you. I appreciate that movement. Perfect.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the complication rising.
Speaking of, Sienna, as you approach this, because I assume you're keeping them like in their sort of ring formation to act almost like a portable building, like hold them in with the shields facing inwards. Does that sound fair?
To start, but I might want to separate them.
Okay.
Because I feel like the lesser ranked mice obviously probably aren't going to talk in front of superiors.
That's fair. So, as you approach, and the shields are slowly moving aside a little bit to let you through, the one that Dukan caught, the one that still has red foam on his mouth, leaps up, grabs a satchel off the smaller one that was sort of worked into his cloak, and bites into it. And after just like a couple of seconds, while the rest of the two sort of run in to grab at him and pull him away, he falls to the ground, that foam on his mouth, now blood red, and him seizing on the ground. Oh, to the one that fell on the ground?
To the one that's causing the violence, yeah.
Oh, he's on the ground, like...
So he basically just took the equivalent of a cyanide pill, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Oh, I misunderstood that. Oh, okay. Can I
yeah, no.
respond?
Yeah, you guys are both there. I know Sienna's
I'm
taking
going
the
to
lead.
punch him in the stomach as hard as a weasel physically can to make him upchuck everything within his intestinal tract.
I'm going to make a roll for him.
This could backfire. He's gonna die
gonna
from
die
internal
anyway.
bleeding instead.
Well, I can tell you right now, you hit him in the stomach, and he just sort of... and just this splatter of blood, and he hits the ground just... and immediately dies. It was not your hit that did it. He was already dying. You get close enough to smell it, and if either of you two want to make me a medicine roll or a healer roll, I guess was what this would be in Mouse Guard. This is what happens when you play 3 systems.
Yeah, I'm also gonna kick that pouch away that he bit into.
I would like to roll will.
So none of the other mice can get to
Oh,
it.
sorry, guys. I didn't know I could kill somebody with a punch. My bad.
That's fair.
The 2 in healer.
Okay. Yeah, make me that roll fast. And
Yeah,
make me that willpower roll, Derek.
I did.
I'm gonna explode that 6.
There it is. Yeah. Okay.
So I don't break down and split him in half. That's good.
No, that is in fact good. You do feel that violence rise within you, and sort of that cold, almost venomous rage fill you, and you drive it back down. There is no hawk to fight right now. Sienna, you're not... It's not a terrible roll. Like, your roll isn't terrible. It's just not successful. So... You don't know exactly what it is. But just at a glance, you guess it's definitely some kind of poisonous herb. And from how bad it smells, it's probably, like, almost immediately lethal. This is one of those things where you can actually trust your mouse nature comes pretty strong through sometimes. And this, whatever this was, it fucking killed them. Like, in under a second. Your troops, like, move forward and pull this, and, like, grab the satchel up. One of them pulls up to his nose. Hemlock. And drops it onto the ground.
Yukon will tower over these other 2 mouse and look at them like if they make a fucking move for a satchel. They saw what I did to that fucking corpse, and I will do it to them while they are still alive and can feel it.
That mouse does have a weasel-shaped fist dent in its chest.
Don't do it.
I think now is a good time to go ahead and separate, since there's only 2 left.
One of them is clearly a Bond's mouse. He is also a fox's mouse. Bright orange, white face paint on, mimicking the fox's nose. The other one, on the other hand, is pale, almost blonde in shade. Clearly a little more elderly. That one isn't just wearing a fur cloak. He's wearing what appears to be brass or a copper chest plate. And on it is an etched-in emblem, very clearly of a fox. The same one you would see on the map here. Let me see if I can open it up. So this is what your small Bond's mouse looks like, and this is what his leader looks like. And so, as these two... Did that show up properly? It should have, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we got him.
Yeah, so
Cool. All right. I'm second-guessing myself.
Very cute.
Thank you.
cute evil mice.
So you separate them out into 2 separate groups as your shield bearers kind of pinch off in like a cellular mitosis kind of thing. Just split them into 2 circles. And you can see that at this point, your troops aren't taking any chances. They don't have like super large knives or shield or like that sort of thing, but their shields now aren't angled to keep them from escaping by making a wall. They're angled to strike. So if these guys do anything really stupid, they will intervene and it'll be, well, riot shields do a hell of a number on the body when they're repeatedly beat into you. So, yeah. Up to you to decide who you want to interrogate.
I will go to the leader first.
Okay. So, the leader is sitting serenely on the ground. You can see, like, I assume he's the one who stayed while the other one kind of got pinched off, and the body is still sitting next to him. And he's just sort of looking over at it occasionally. His expression, not placid, but surprisingly calm, all things considered. He does also, when you get closer, even though his fur is very fair, You can see he does also have the same white face paint that a lot of them wear. It just barely is visible against his fur. It's only really noticeable because how tacky it makes the fur. And he also appears to have some over his eyebrows as well. And he looks up at you as you approach, and he just sniffs a little bit and narrows his eyes.
I go up to him and I ask, is it really better to die that way than to simply be our captives? We don't even know who we are yet.
Orekada, Shunga, you are outsiders. You are traitors. I know who you are.
How so?
You are from our line. Of a sort. I recognize the cloak. The rest, I don't. But you're not one of Midnight's. We tell tales of you. How you left after you slew the fox and the hawk. And then their kids.
I did nothing.
Your kind.
I did nothing.
Your people did.
It's not really fair to blame us for something that happened so long
Blame.
ago that nobody from that time is even alive.
Credit. Credit, the mouse means. It will be done again.
He looks his eyes up at you. I doubt it.
Do you have any idea how many mouse have stood where you stand and told Dukan the same thing?
The mouse slowly rises to his feet. He has no weapons on him, just his fur cloak, his chest plate, the sort of thing that can't be easily removed from his person without him fighting back, and so they've left it on him. You know, it's not like this is the TSA. They're not going to grab you and rip off all your clothes and see and do a cavity search. Like, this is the middle of a field in an Iron Age society. And he gets square up with you and looks into your eyes, Dukan. And there's not an ounce of fear in them.
Dukan's not trying to invoke fear in him.
Mm-hmm.
Not at this stage.
I know. But this way you should know, you, Dukan Diamondback, one of the most fearsome-looking weasels, does not invoke even the slightest bit of fear in this guy's eyes. And he speaks to you very clearly. I know what real fear looks like. I know what real predators look like. Not Midnight's hand servants.
Oh, I gotta roll Will again.
Enough. What is your name, Mouse? I ask the leader guy.
Dukan is able to restrain himself from pulping this guy's fucking head.
He turns and looks at you. Maxim. My name is Maxim.
And what are we to do with you, Maxim? We certainly can't release you. We certainly can't trust you. Do you just wish for death? Or can you actually serve some type of purpose?
Make me a scout roll, the both of you.
Ooh, that's a pitiful roll.
Yep, that's failure.
I'm too pissed off by his remark about being Midnight's hand servant.
Okay. I'm waiting to see. Sina's yours rolled. Okay, yours rolled right there.
Yeah, I have one success. I'm debating if I should explode that 6.
Your
Didn't
choice.
work out so well the last time. So I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Sienna. He fixes you with this gaze. And you... Something's not right. Something's very not right. You can't tell. Is maybe something on the air? I don't know. Nothing you can really tell. Also, thank you, Astronaut. Nice.
Thank you, Astro. Thank you so much for the reset, buddy.
You don't feel in control of this conversation. Somehow. Like, by all accounts, you should be. This guy is at the mercy of a regiment of 12 mice with shields. By all accounts, this guy should not be doing shit. But the way he's handling himself, he is fully relaxed. Which tells you he has some kind of plan. You don't know what it is, but he has a card up his sleeve and he hasn't played it yet.
I don't want to find out. I just pull Dukan enough out of the way to be out of his earshot. I tell Dukan what I'm feeling and that this guy's probably gotta go. Like right
Okay.
now.
Dukan does not need another fucking word. He, as I said, just grabs him by the head, picks him up, squish, and lets the body drop.
You're going to need to make me a fighter roll for this.
I can fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm going with that instinct. I don't like it, but I don't want to see what this guy's up
Okay.
to.
You manage to pick him up, and as you do, trying to like squeeze his head, he's got a little fight left in him. He clamps his jaws down on your wrist. And everyone forgets how sharp mouse teeth are till you get bit. And I can tell you someone who's owned rats before. Rodent teeth fucking hurt, and they cut deep. You can't squish his head, but the amount of force you throw him to the ground with, you hear something break. For sure.
Natalie, you're gonna want to fucking take your earphones off for this next part. Hey, Omni, remember that part in King Kong?
You want to rip his head, his jaw?
Yeah.
Make me another fighter roll.
Okay.
I said take care of him. I didn't say brutalize him.
He insulted me directly. He called me a lackey for midnight. That is a huge insult.
You
That's
lift
fair.
him up and start doing the thing, and when you do that, he brings his sharp little mouse claws up and rakes them across your face. You hear something pop in
Ow.
his jaw when you do this, but the pain makes you stagger back. He's looking terrible. He is injured. He is very much angry. One more status condition, he will be dead. But he is not going down easy.
Goodbye.
And as he
mouse.
does this, as he's like staggering back, he brings his jaw up, like with one of his hands, and just manages to like sort of through that like somewhat dislocated jaw, you can hear like it's a little slurring his speech. He says something to the lines of, "Kill a fox. You can't even kill me."
With a level 10 fighter roll,
Wait, it's not
Dukan.
too late. You can still kiss him back up.
Shut the fuck up, Steven Universe.
We can make it better.
Dukan.
We can make it right.
That's enough.
Yeah, he under his breath, where probably only he and the little mouse can hear, he says,
Do you want to bet?
and he's just gonna pick him up, dig one little Weasley claw into his guts, and grab his spine and rip him apart. Show these fuckers why I'm a goddamn weasel.
His body hits the ground, And despite that, you can see, like, even though he's in half and he's clearly in agony and swiftly dying, his eyes look back up to you, and the last of his energy, there's just this little tiny smile. And then he just passes away.
Squunch.
Yeah, he's dead. He's 100% dead.
It's like the evil version of the Black Knight. It's like you just keep hacking at him and he won't die.
He's just a normal dude, for the record. He rolled surprisingly well in his own defense. Rip Maxim, my word.
Oh,
Dukon looks at what he just wrought, and then looks up, looks around, remembers that he's in front of all of Siana's forces,
we're probably all looking horrified.
and just walks off.
Make me a will roll.
Okay.
Oh god. Don't make me fight you, Dukon. Whew.
You might want to blow that 6 up, sir.
Oh, jeez. Fuck. Oh,
Oh,
God.
good heavens.
Oh, is that good? Do I
That's
need
good.
another one?
No,
Okay.
no, that's good. That's good enough. That's good
Thank you, chat.
So, as you walk away, for just a second, like, you turn your eyes back, and you smell, you're a weasel. Your sense of smell, like most of these creatures, is pretty strong. And you smell fear, you smell panic, you smell concern, you smell rage. The other mice nearby are also pretty pissed on your behalf as well, if not terrified by your presence. But you smell something that you thought you forgot a long time ago. You smell food. And for a second, you almost give in. You just manage to rise a little bit above it, enough to suppress it. And as you walk away, you hear cackling laughter from the vicar's voice in the back of your head. Siana, you still have one person to interrogate.
Before I do that, I reluctantly go up to the very gross remains of the mouse that I thought Dukon was just gonna, like, snap its neck or something.
He fought too hard for that. Dukon really tried to make it decent.
That's
He
fair.
was not dying easy.
It just got worse each time that he struggled.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna search his remains to see if I can find
Rip
anything
Maxim.
that'll help me piece together why he was so
I
confident.
genuinely thought you were going to say, I walk up to his mangled body and say, "Are you okay?"
Just put your fingers on his neck. I don't think he's getting up, guys.
I'm not getting a pull.
God damn right. Get a persona point for that one. That one made me laugh. That was
Cure wounds.
Cure wound.
I start bandaging him back together.
I'm getting fucking Lego movie imagery now, where it's just like, and you can accomplish anything with the power of, and a penny separates your head from your shoulders, and everyone's like, oh, just, I'm sure it's fine. Just put it back together. You search his body, and the only thing you find is what appears to be a small shoot of, like, a twig or like a tiny shoot of bamboo, and on it is some not familiar language to you. Something definitely local, probably Fox Empire. None of your mouse guard would know. Trevor might. He's a shop mouse. He's also a scout, so he might be more versed with the language than you are.
I'll ask him. I'm sure he's somewhere nearby.
Absolutely. So Trevor steps forward, and as he gets closer, you can see he looks down at the body, and it's weird. It's like looking at an age-drawn mirror. Trevor's almost the exact same fur tone, almost the exact same height, just like 20 years younger than this mouse with different face paint. And Trevor just sort of
Do we just kill him?
Trevor just looks at the mouse and then, without a word, kneels down, grabs the thing from you, and rotates it in his thumbs. A missive. Orders of some kind. Something about advance. And make a roll on his part. These are all veteran characters, basically.
Like
That's how powerful you guys are. Like your NPCs are veteran characters in a normal game.
Oh yeah.
His roll is fucking phenomenal. He squints. Oh. Well, that explains it. I thought this was Thlenetter dialect. It's not. It's Skulkmoot. This comes from the Council of Foxes. There is disruption in Serpent's Run. Go ahead of the main force. Scout in advance. Speak with the vicar. We will have words if he does not get his house in order. And he scrolls the last part of it down. And he hands it back to you. He's one of 20. This is
How
this is a
many?
scouting party.
Okay.
How many were in that main force again? It was like... And he's doing a little bit of counting on his fingers. About 4 regiments. About 20 mice each. 80 mice. 80 times 20. 4,000 mice is the main body of this force. And he looks around, and you guys have like maybe 100 collectively. That's probably being generous. Actually, you don't have 100. You thinking about it, the force you guys have, you probably have 60, give or take.
Well, that explains why he was so happy. You don't know this mouse, do you?
No, I don't.
Wait, can I do a roll to see if I can tell if he's telling
Sure.
me the truth about this and
Sure.
the scroll?
I know what you mean. Give me a circles roll.
He's- Oh, I clicked on the D8. Ignore that. Oh. Kind of wish I had the first roll instead.
It's 3 traders. If you want to add dice, you can, but your call.
As much as I'd like to, it's probably better to save those.
Trevor's
can
face is
always
inscrutable, as always.
Try.
This is not a man who broadcasts emotion loudly, and he's doing a very good job suppressing any if he's feeling any. You genuinely could not tell. You get the feeling this is the sort of mouse that would not be crying at his own father's funeral, even if it was his father's funeral.
Well, I thank Trevor for translating it and go ahead and tuck it away before going to talk to the last mouse.
Trevor watches from a distance, and you can see that as he's doing that, he's just sort of looking at his crossbow and cleaning its action. He wants to make sure it's ready. The final mouse, you can see, looks more than a little panicked. He couldn't see what happened to the other mouse in entirety. But from the horrifying sounds you could hear, he definitely heard what happened to the mouse. And he's not fucking dumb. So this mouse sitting with a cloak of what appears to be some kind of red fur, and when you get closer you can see it's actually not red naturally. It's been dyed, likely with some kind of carrot juice as a natural ink. It probably was like hair fur at one point, and just dyed hell red or orange to match that of the foxes. He has a little bow or he did anyway, which one of the other mice nearby is holding. They're not leaving weapons on these guys, obviously. They're not that dumb. Along with a little quiver of arrows, which, as you get closer, you can see that the arrows are just sharpened wood with a couple of feathers at the back in order to fly properly. They don't even have heads of stone. And this little mouse looks up at you as you approach and glares. For a second, it seems like anger overtakes fear, and he just says, "Prisoners, huh? Interesting."
That's fair. I do not blame you for holding ill feelings towards us. However, I'm sure you know that self-preservation is often the most important thing. And I'm afraid that your leader, Maxwell, had no intentions of being a prisoner, only causing destruction, and I cannot have that in my party.
Maxim. No, it's all right.
Max, I'm sorry.
You literally just met him. I don't think that's unreasonable. Your character might not know him, or you. Like it's if literally he had all 2 seconds to die in front of you. He lowers his eyes a little bit. There are worse things than death here, you know.
I can only assume, given the other prisoners' reaction to being captured.
Make me a circles roll. Or persuader, your call.
Two circles.
Okay.
I will roll another die for this one. I'm gonna have to take from the pool.
He narrows. Okay, that's fair. His eyes are already slit, so I don't even want to say he narrows his eyes. He can't. They're not any more narrow than they can possibly be. But the glow ring is quite intense. You don't know what Maxim was going to do. You have no idea. I'm guessing he did exactly what he was hoping for. You all...
Provoking us.
He nods. What do you think happens to us if we go back failures?
Probably something similar to what just happened to Maxim.
We should be so lucky. The Fox Council eats its failures, and they play with their food.
Is there no option to you besides death and returning?
Success. Some measure. To pry something out of this. Knowledge. A warning. They may spare us then. Maybe even promote us. And put us right back where we are. He's reading your face. I'm going to ask you straight up. Are you... Sienna, are you pitying him? Like, pitying.
Kidding?
Like, is there pity or, like, sadness for this dude in your eyes in any way, shape, or form? Or is that not what you're feeling? I'm genuinely curious. I want to know your mental state.
I guess confusion, because Sion is probably just now realizing how much of a hold the Predators have. She just kind of maybe assumed that the majority of them would all want to get away from the Predators at any cost, and that they're just kind of they're biding their time until there's an opportunity to get free. And now it's like, hey, like, you're my prisoner. I can just not kill you, and you can not go back to the predators and die, but you seem to not even see that as an option. So she's just like, huh. Didn't expect that.
I doubt you would. You're one of the ones who left. Or your people were. Maxim was old. He's been steeped in the history for longer than me. You're a product of your people. So am I. I'm a farmer by trade, not a fighter. I'm a levy.
Would you not like an opportunity to go back to that life, but one without the fear of your rulers doing such things as you mentioned?
He cocks his head a little bit to the side. What is there to go back to? If I return, they'll kill me, my family, and everyone connected to them until my village is razed.
For all they know, you died with the others. And when we succeed in our mission, then you can start a new life with us. I'm not being very persuasive. I'm trying my
Make
best.
me a persuasion roll. No circles this time, just persuasion.
Let's hope it's better. No?
You can add dice to this if you want.
I'm not gonna risk it, because every time I've tried to add a dice, it's been a low roll.
Okay. Roll on his part. Roll off. Do it
You
again.
failed too?
Yep.
Alright.
One success on his part.
Oh, come on. I have had nothing but bad rolls all
But we have
night.
like what, 5 or 6 in the pool? Use it.
More than that. I think you guys were up to like 7 at the last count because you used like 2.
I'll try 1. If that's a low roll, I'm not gonna waste
That's
any
fair.
more.
Yeah, that's fair.
See, I'm telling you, I'm
I'm
cursed
sorry.
tonight.
I know the pain. All right, that's fair. So he looks at you, and he sort of smiles, and you see that same sort of smile that Maxim had, and you realize they do have a plan, but it's not what you think. It's enough. I'm willing to say, given how much time you spent talking with him, and what happened with Maxim, you come to that realization very suddenly. All they want is time. They're biding for time, and there's 4,000 mice out there on the way. Given how far away Trevor said they were, the main force is probably coming, most likely, from Skulkmoot. That's several days away. But they were an advance force, and there's probably more coming.
Alright. I'm gonna do my best to not let him realize that I realize what he's doing. I'm just going to go, well, give it some thought. I'm going to go see to my troops. We'll have someone bring you some food, and perhaps continue this later. And then I'm gonna go find Yukon and be like,
As you're
No.
walking away,
gotta book
the
it.
mouse sort of chuckles and shouts over the troops as you're walking away. My name is Jur, and if I don't see you in a cage on the way back to Skulkmoot, then you can talk with me further. Good luck. And he sits back down and begins scrawling in the dirt. It's nothing big, by the way. I'm just going to make it very clear. He's like just doodling,
Yeah.
like the equivalent of drawing stick figures.
Yeah. Sienna just doesn't even react. She's just like, alright, keeps walking. These mice are mad. I like the owl mice better. I didn't think I would. Flying is unnatural. Alright, if I do call on, I tell him we need to start getting our gear together and heading out.
Both of you make me a scout roll right now.
Okay.
Don't
Shout
forget your
out
starting failures.
to Sir Sharkbait for the sub. Thank you very much. And I hope that I answered your question in a way that makes sense for you.
Sir Sharkbait.
Oh, finally a good roll.
Oh, yeah.
My senses are tingling.
Nice. Both of you succeed. In the distance, finally, it comes into focus. That thing that made you feel uneasy before. It wasn't Maxim's smile. It was something else in the air. And now you recognize it. If you were human, you wouldn't hear it. But your mouse and your sense of hearing is sharper than that of any human. Toucan, as a weasel, yours ain't too bad either.
I can smell, though.
True. But in this case, it's sound. A distant, high-pitched ringing. Like a timing belt or a gear clicking over, but high-pitched. And you realize when you look up at the surroundings, there's a reason the sound is so strange. It's echoing off a rock face behind you. When you turn to face it, it drops in timber. And it's not one. It's many. And we're going to flip from you guys over to Red. Hey, hey! And also ask if you guys need another bio break because it's almost 2 hours.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's do it. All right. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be right back with more Malgard. back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so very much for waiting. I surely do appreciate it. Omni, what's happening?
Thank you, Derek. I appreciate it. So, getting back to it, we're going to pop back up on our friend Giles. So, Giles, you are trying to sneak into this town to try to, as I recall, cut down a guard tower and drop it on the bird watching the town. Am I correct in that
Yes.
assessment? All right. So, Giles, you're going to need to give me a scout roll, as that is exactly what scout is for. That or nature.
Nature is more of my specialty.
Okay.
Nature it is.
Moving silently is in your nature, so if you fail, it won't dock your nature.
I rolled D4s. Hold on.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's weird.
I'm playing Celtic War. That's fine. That's
One
really
success.
a weird roll, but it's good. It's good enough.
Okay. Okay. So, describe to me how you approach this town. And remember, it's a hamlet, so small, only a couple of buildings. There are a couple of like smaller homes, but these homes are kind of like individual, like they seem like they're less homes and more like storage places. It's very likely the people of this town live in one longhouse together. And they just sort of come out to these little, what are like little chunks of bamboo that are chopped, like the little rings of bamboo with like little stretched over tarps and stuff on them, some like buried into the ground. They're literally just like micro silos of supplies. You get the feeling it's possible there's either dung or some kind of fertilizer in there that they're using to help get the bamboo to shoot up so quickly. Although honestly, it's bamboo; it barely needs any help.
So I'm gonna leave the turtle and the vast majority of the forces sort of behind to like move in quietly, sort of like surrounding the place. There's plenty of cover, so it's not gonna be too hard to just sneak. In that regard, I'm gonna move forward with my force of my two weasels and the siblings,
Okay.
and with their aid, I'm going to scale this bamboo shoot. Well, it's a tower. I'm assuming it's made out of bamboo.
It's actually not.
Intriguing. Okay.
Bamboo's too thick for this here. Like, remember, you're a field bounce. You're like 2 inches tall. A bamboo shoot at like its thinnest is usually as wide as you are tall. So they've just taken like reeds and wound them together to make this little like rickety watchtower. It's not particularly heavy. It's maybe a total like of 2 feet tall. It has a stiff spine of a broken oak branch. And by branch, I mean twig, because you're mice. I was not kidding when I said this place is not very big.
If I were to fell the tower, would I be able to still land on top of said bird? You said it was on top of like one of the edifices within the town.
Yes, the longhouse is where the bird is currently sitting on top of. This tower, because of how far you committed to it, I'm going to reasonably say it makes sense. It's close enough to this place where it could fall onto it. Whether it will be able to do any significant damage to the bird beyond startle it, that's debatable. But if you're at the top with a sword, you probably could. It's a songbird. I mean, you could kill something roughly the size of a cow or a horse with a sword. That's been happening for thousands of years. I imagine a mouse could do that to a bird.
Okay. I will scale to the top of this tower, but you have previously stated that it is unoccupied.
The closer one is unoccupied. The
Yes,
farther one is.
Closest one is what I'm going to.
Okay.
And then I'm going to like perch atop the roof of this thing and have my sword at the ready. And as soon as this thing starts falling, I'm going to sort of like get a few steps back and take a running start.
Okay.
Just in case the tower itself doesn't reach it, I want to be able to reach it.
All right. Red, you're going to need to make me one more scout roll. As below, you can see the 2 weasels, and also your own apprentices are getting ready to hack the thing down all at once. Because, it's still strong enough where you would normally need to chop, but with 2 weasels and 2 mice with great weapons, this should splinter with one swing if they time it right.
Okay. I have a single D6 for scout, so.
Okay.
Is that a reroll?
I will share with you my roll openly. You need to beat 2 successes, or at least
Okay.
match for a roll off.
So I am at 1. I'm using my pool right now.
Correct.
Using another one.
Okay.
Start. And persona. There we go. Okay, beat.
You beat. All right. So as you're climbing up, and you can see at your feet, Jeffrey and Janet are positioning themselves, getting ready to hack at this thing. And the two wolf weasels, as you've dubbed them, are getting ready to chop this thing down with the sharpened gauntlet blades they have. They're all at the bottom, like laying flat with a little bit of the brush nearby. Again, lots of like leaves and namely also grass blades poking up over here. And these are big enough to cover a weasel that's laying down. Not wholly, but enough to offer like actual like what we would consider cover in like a Dungeons and Dragons such situation to obscure their line of sight. As you're climbing up, there's a brief second where you can see the bird turn its head, and it's a songbird. Its eyes are on the sides of its head. And for a second, it seems like it's looking directly at you, but you manage to sort of whip yourself around on the back side of the of this tower, which is again not very big, but sort of like make yourself look like a ball at the bottom of it. Maybe like a spider, maybe like spider silk, or like if you've ever seen almost kind of like that those weird sticky membranes that occasionally just appear from like dust sticking to shit when it's small enough. That. And the bird sort of looks in your direction, turns its head, turns away, keeps doing what it's doing as you get to the top. And at your signal, they'll fell the tower. Janet looks up at you, waiting to see the order.
He turns and looks down, and when he's sure the bird is not looking at him, and with his like bladed gauntlet, he points like, "Now."
There's barely a sound, just a snap, like a single rope splitting, as 2 swords, both swinging from the same direction, go through this thing, and the 2 weasels push at the same time, and the twig snaps, and the whole thing begins to fall downwards towards this songbird.
You know that meme of like Kratos jumping, and then it's like playing "Dream On" by Aerosmith. That's Giles right now.
Was this whole plan meme directed?
No,
Was this
no,
meme playing?
I just thought of that right now.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I would have been both angry and impressed if it were true.
No, my brain just likes attaching comedy to things. I don't know
No,
why.
that's fair, buddy.
Stupid
All right.
jokes. Yeah.
You're gonna make me a hunter roll for this now.
Hunter. I have a rating of 1 in Hunter.
Okay.
Why Hunter, may I ask?
Hunter is for hunting beasts. You would use fighting for things that are more like your size. You technically could use it against this, but right now you're not openly fighting it yet. You're attempting to ambush a creature. It's not a predator, mind you, but a beast of the wild. So think of this as literally a hunting roll. And hey, look at that. That's a 4. It's pretty good.
I didn't roll that.
You didn't roll it? Okay.
No, that was the previous.
Oh, those were
roll.
the last one.
I was going to ask if I could use Wild Country wise.
Yes, I think you can use that for this.
Okay.
In addition to your hunter roll. So it'd be hunter plus wild country wise.
Okay, come on. I need a victory. Oh, we're getting close.
All right.
Oh, bird up.
Bird up.
Bird up.
All right, how much do we have in the community pool? Because I'm running low on like personal thing.
We had like 8 last time I checked, so
You guys spent 2 since then. You're at 6. I've been keeping track.
All right, I'm gonna spend 1.
Okay, we're down to 5.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 2. Okay, back to my personal pool. Let's see here.
We're down to 4.
So that's I need to now get 3 successes. All I need to do is roll a 6 and explode it. Easy, watch. We're heading in the right direction. Okay, we're back up to 1.
Back up to 1. You just need 2 more
I'm
successes.
gonna use my last fate. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting
take another
there.
one from the pool.
Come on, baby, come on.
You
come
need
on.
1 more, and you will force a roll off.
No!
Oh, you're not taking any more from the pool. You're banished from the pool.
The pool is locked to you. The pool is for tenants only.
That's our mana pool now.
Coffee is for closers only.
Taking everything from me.
Mana drain.
As you fall down,
Did that to somebody today.
nice. As you're falling down towards this bird, it looks up at you, and its eye locks with you. And you see this bright golden ring around the black of its pupil look up at you and dilate and then narrow. And then as you're falling down and push yourself off, blade drawn to stab at this thing, it flaps its wings and is on the other side of the longhouse, just standing there looking at you. And it chirps, I'm wondering, you know, Wild Country wise, you would know this language. It is the language of birds, and it is strangely universal across this whole region. Oh wait, it's not strange. They fly, and oceans are meaningless to them, at least at these distances anyhow. And it chirps in a relatively local dialect, something to the equivalent of, what are you doing, mouse? What nonsense is this? Why are you out of the longhouse?
I like this music. This is so perfect for how Giles fights. It's just so...
I've been
He's such
sitting
like
on
a.
it for a while.
It gives me like Lupin the Third vibes, just like being a fucking goofball, like
For those
breaking
of you
everything.
curious out there, that's Arthur Venk, Worthy Rivals. Thank you, Arthur Venk, for letting us
Awesome.
use this music. You're awesome, buddy.
So Giles, realizing that his plan has failed, he's like completely. I'm assuming he's just crashed into the longhouse at this point. And I'm, like,
You have
recovering.
landed on the roof, which is mostly made out of like dried out grass and twig, which for us would implode immediately. But you're a mouse, so you sort of hit the top, and it's roughly about as firm as any kind of like solid wood construction we have. Your blade sinks to the grass and just pokes out the other end. You can hear a little ah from inside, as clearly one of the mice has noticed a giant sword blade sticking through what was once their roof.
Giles, while he's busy using one hand to pull the sword out of the roof, he's like gonna reach down to his hip, and he's gonna pull out a small little. It looks like a, it's like a wine skin, almost, and he just starts drinking out of it. As like this bird doesn't seem to be like immediately going to attack him, so he's taking this opportunity to have a long draw of Wolfram style whiskey. And I'm acting on my instinct. A fight and a drink or just a wink away.
That's fair, buddy. 100%. Yeah, okay. You can check that off, and you will get an extra die in your next action.
Yeah, just wipes off his whiskers, and just like this very potent smelling liquid just goes flying up. He goes, "Hey, I know I missed. That's a bit embarrassing." He's just gonna start running forward with the sword, just ripping it out. Actually, you know what he's gonna do? He's gonna like run the sword along the roof of this place, just to like tear it apart as he's making his way towards his bird.
Nice. All right. So, as you go charging at this thing, we are now officially in combat. So, I'm going to make an action, and you're going to make an action, and between the two of us, we'll have a result. I'm just going to choose mine first, so I cannot influence my own decision based on yours.
Chat,
All right.
never guess this one.
Okay. I got it. Go ahead.
I hope this burb is smaller than the fucking hawk we fought.
Oh, it's very
Songbird.
much smaller. It is
Okay,
the
that's
size
good.
of an actual red robin. So
I
it
was gonna say,
is.
because you're fucked otherwise.
This is a. I am emphasizing this is a songbird. To put it in perspective, Mouse Guard does not have stats for a songbird. I don't have those. I've had to improvise them. They are not that big. So. So your actions are attack, defend, maneuver, or feint. What are you choosing?
There's a lot of actions there that I don't want to use. I'm going to attack.
Okay. So, dusting off my old Mouse Guard combat rules, and by dusting them
Blows
off,
the dust
I
off
mean,
the tone. The sparkles go on the camera.
as I transform into a magical man.
You transform into a small mouse that can no longer lift the book. We have to cancel the session because of the brutal witchery that has taken place.
That would be quite sad, actually.
Fuck. We'll be back next week, everybody. I gotta go figure out some magic. Change my
Okay.
buddy back.
This is a mouse catastrophe.
So, the bird, as you come sprinting towards him, hilariously, tries to maneuver. What a surprise. It's a fucking bird. So you're making a versus roll. This is going to be your fighter versus its bird nature.
Yes. Okay, I like this. I like using fighter.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Get even. It's at 0.
Ooh. Giles.
2 1s, 2 5s. That's 2 successes and 2 traitors.
Okay. I'm gonna fuck you up.
So
after your
as
successful attack roll, I get an additional success. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4 successes after the traitor.
4 successes. Damn. All right. So as you come charging at this robin, the robin sort of turns sideways and tries to like leap off the building and catch like a breeze, and it manages to mostly, but not fast enough for you to not be on top of it. I'm assuming are you trying to stab or swipe, good sir?
So Giles is using his ungauntleted hand to hold his blade like half sword style, and he's just getting towards it. Like after he pulls it out of the roof, obviously he pulls it out of the roof, catches it, and just like brings the sword up, and he tries to like stick it into its underbelly or under its wing, so he could get a nice, good like stick in sort of position, so he can climb up on top of it.
Okay. So as you bring your weapon into it, it manages to duck enough to like avoid being completely like locked up, but your blade still catches it on the wing, and it lets loose this loud peep, this very loud peep of frustration. Thank you. As it goes diving off the top of the roof, and it was going to fly away and spread its wings, but instead it just kind of hits the ground with you on top of it, squawking and flapping and screaming treason, treason at the top of its bird lungs. Next action, I have chosen what I'm going to do.
Me too.
Okay, what you doing?
Do I really need to say it?
You're attacking. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, very good.
So the bird is very much defending for obvious reasons. You're on top of him, and he's kind of like landed on his like side/back. So he sort of rolls over on his back and just kind of, get off me! And just keeps batting you with its claws, just like hitting you in the face. And it's very much like, it's like dealing with an actual street fight. Not the kind that we like to imagine would happen in our minds when we want to punch someone. No, the real thing. The awkward slapping, really uncomfortable kicking, two people who've never trained their lives to actually hurt each other, desperately trying to do something impressive, and it usually looks like shit. And that's very much what it feels like. It's like trying to get into someone who's just slapping and punching you and trying to get you away. This is a versus roll. So
Typical bird.
you guys will be looking at a exact, like, at a roll-off very much like you did before. We're going to see how this goes. Oh. Our boy got little sharp claws.
I forgot to add my extra die to that previous roll.
Okay, that's fair. I'll say that his wing is a little like nicked by that. Like you definitely hit him. Like he's not injured status condition yet, but he has been like you have drawn blood on him.
How about them apples?
3, 4, 5,
Holy
6, 7.
shit! I'm gonna smoke this.
7 versus 5. Damn.
That's pretty fucking good.
6, 7.
All
I'm tempted
right.
to use Fate to explode it, or rather Persona to explode it. But Giles is making his brutal
probably.
intent pretty clear. He is trying to disable this bird. Giles clearly doesn't want to kill this bird. And the bird, I'm assuming this bird is intelligent enough to sort of pick up on the vibe that he is attacking to subdue.
This bird is very clearly intelligent, but it's also very much kind of just generally not kind of. It is just surprised. It's just kind of stunned. It's the way it's reacting. It has never had someone do this. Not even try. No one's. I mean, I don't just mean like fall a tower on it and try to tackle it. Clearly not that. But attack it. It has never been attacked before. The fuck are you doing, Mouse? What are you trying to do?
So here's what I'm gonna say. So I do get +1 success, or +1 success after the attack. So I have 8 successes. So I'm going to say that Giles makes an absolutely brutal blow. I'm not going to say that this is going to have like. I'm not determining the damage. I'm just saying Giles is delivering this blow that is like hard to forget. I'll say he like. I have a good idea. So he uses his clawed gauntlet, reaches into the back of this thing, and like grabs a handful of feathers and flesh and just rips it out. And he's like getting close to its ear hole. You're gonna serve me, understand?
You get like a good 2 to 3 feathers in your hand, and there's a yank, and you hear just like this high pitched like shriek of like frustration, and as you do that, it looks at you, and its eye is about as big as your fist, and this eye just like fixes on you, and it goes from like panicked to pissed. What? And what's your next action, Rand? Is it what I think it is? Is it attack?
I might actually try something different.
Okay. What are you doing?
Shows
in my action.
What would I have to do in order to try to dominate this bird?
So, in this instance, I would say you would need to perform a feint. A feint is where you are not making a direct, like it's an indirect method of attack. A lure or some way to misdirect it. If that's the case, your goal is to get on its back. Because very clearly, from this thing's posture, it has rolled onto its back to beat you with its claws, rather than let you get on it. So you're going to have to convince it, or lure it, to roll onto its front or its side, to get behind it, to ride it, or attempt to ride it. And this little guy is just, no, the whole time it's like batting your ass away. To say this is a bucking bronco is incorrect. It's more like a very pissed off child, and it does not want you touching it right now. It wants to go and do something else.
So, Giles recalls when his mentor, Lenze of One Eye, told him of dark arts used by predators. And the thing that he currently experienced today, using his experience of like, oh, I know how to be able to like properly escape if I indulge in these sorts of things. I just need to break myself free via drawing blood of my own. He's trying to figure out, as he's fighting this thing, if he could like dominate it in the same way that the owls have subjugated other beasts.
That's an interesting question.
And in the meantime, he's trying to weaken it to the point where he may be able to do that, because he knows he's not going to be able to just like subjugate a bird in its full vitality.
Right. It's if you want to try to do something with magic, or to at least assess if it's even possible, you're gonna need to give me a. Oh man, this is gonna be weird for you. you're going to need to give me a will roll. I will let you use nothing else. And that will let you know if it's even fucking possible, Red.
Will. Successes?
That's success. I can tell you right now, from what you have seen of how Seer was bound literally with runes on his wings and magic. Magic you are only peripherally aware of. Would it be possible? Maybe. But you need to do a lot more research. Right now, the only touch of magic you have is by tapping into Reek, and he does not appreciate you touching the wellspring of his magic. Furthermore, you clearly have no control over it. Every time you're doing it, you're just lowering yourself into a mousetrap and asking him to eat you. You need your own source of power, your own way to use it.
Knowing how
So-
to tap into his, though, I feel that will come in handy at some point.
Possibly. But in this, all you end up... You get the strong sensation if you tried to do that again. All you'd end up doing is going catatonic and having this bird beat the shit out of you while this guy tries to eat your brain. I'm being blasé about it, but that's pretty much like your
That's
role
fair.
justifies me telling you.
This thing's intelligent enough. I'm just gonna beat it into submission. So instead of
That's
fainting,
probably the
I'm
best
just
way.
gonna. I'll contemplate that for a moment, like the experience that I had previously before I scaled the tower, and it's like, no, this is just a regular songbird. I could probably just beat it into submission more than like have to do any sort of like runic nonsense. So I will attack.
Okay, that's
Beat
fair.
the devil out of it.
So
Go,
hilariously,
go Bob Ross out of it. Go Bob Ross out of it.
hilariously, this bird is going to attack you. Just straight up attack you. You
Let's
just-
go!
I'm fighting for my
just-
fucking life.
Yeah, you just told him you plan to make him serve you. I don't think you could have pissed him off any more directly. And he's terrible at it. One success.
Stick to singing songs. Oh no, that wasn't very good. Either. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Oh,
on.
it's so good. Go ahead. Chat, by the way, that is one success for the bird. Negative
weird.
one successes for Giles right now.
So how many do we have left in the pool?
In red, we are at three of these points left.
I don't want to get beaten to death by a songbird. That would be kind of embarrassing. That'd be an embarrassing ending for Giles.
I say you can have one, but if that doesn't work out for you, I'm sorry.
Don't worry, I'll get a 6. That's not a 6.
I feel like worse things could happen that we might need those points for. Besides, you can
Can I use?
your ass.
No, I don't want to get beat up by a fucking songbird. That's embarrassing. Can I use one of my traits? Maybe I have leader level 2, and I'm trying to subjugate somebody to.
I
follow in
will
my
let
leadership.
you make a tough roll. I will let you
Tough is
use
fine.
tough if you'd like for one extra die, Red. But if
Good
that
heavens.
don't do shit, I don't know what to tell you.
Please, I beg you. Please, I beg you. What? I don't want to get beat up by a bird. I don't want to get beat up by a bird.
Bird up.
No, bro. This isn't
Burr,
how it's
burr,
supposed to
burr.
go.
Dice gods are telling you have to.
I need
beat up.
one success.
The
that's
dice
all
are
I
telling a
need.
story.
The dice are telling a story. So Red,
I think it's my favorite aphorism I've ever come up with.
it's so good. It's so good, Derek. In moments like this, it's so rewarding.
So salient, just like stop wasting the fucking resources, dude. Just fucking take the L.
Bro, I need. Okay, I get a +1 success after the fucking attack, so I needed one success.
If you
Period to tie
succeed.
it up. That's all
if
I
you
needed.
succeed,
What if
You're-
I succeed?
you would
Oh,
need
man, I
two.
needed 2.
you would need to beat its roll to succeed. Is the trick? Um.
Okay, fine. I can lose one round to a bird in combat, but it's not happening again.
Okay. So, Giles, as you go in to like really deliver like a bell ringer of a hit with the hilt of your blade, this bird gets just one brief second of like a clear line of sight on you as you're bringing your blade up to bonk it, and it just pecks you square in the forehead, full strength, and it's like getting hit on the head with a ball peen hammer. You see stars, and it knocks you off of it, and it rolls onto its tummy, and it looks at you as its feet go under it. Barbarian! And it is getting ready to do its next action. I know what its next action is. What is your action? Is it attack, Ren? It's attack, isn't it?
I'm not losing to a fucking songbird, bro. I do not need the ballads to talk about Giles the fucking blesser. Okay, I need to win this fight.
All right.
I love the image of you getting hit by a songbird and you're seeing stars and also hearing the songbird
Just
like
the tweeting in your head.
You hear
You see the songbird in rings around your head. All right, make your roll because he chose to. He chose to maneuver. This is a versus roll. Oh, the
Look
dice
at
are
how
telling
bad
the
he's
story.
rolling. Why? It's so
No, that was
easy,
mine. That was
bro.
mine. That was not
I
yours.
know, but look at how bad he's rolling. All I need to do is roll one success. Yes, yes.
There you go.
Cool.
All right, right.
I got 5 successes.
He spreads his wings and turns away from you. How do you knock his little bird ass out?
Nobody calls me a barbarian and gets away with it. And he's gonna like come up behind him and he's gonna bring his sword. It's like one hand, this two-handed sword, just so angry, just pissed off, drunk. Just bring it
This
down on him.
bird, on its little metal, like it has its little metal helmet, almost kind of looks like a crown because it's got one of those like frills that comes up on its forehead, so it needs something to protect it. And you catch it right on the back where the metal meets. And there's this loud gong sound as the metal reverberates, and the bird just, with its wings spread, just like flaps for a second, gets like in the air, and then bonk, lands on its side, unconscious, as you have utterly you have not decapitated. You have, thank God for that, you have rendered unconscious this songbird. You can chalk this under a victory, Red. You have succeeded.
Yes, and I level up my fighter all because of that. That's so good.
You turn around and you see Janet and Jeffrey and the twins just looking at you with this like this look of disbelief on their faces.
I think Giles like whips his head around, like there's like Giles catch up with him as he's like flipping his head around, and you can see like spittle and like alcohol just dripping off of his whiskers, and he's just like, "Help me carry it."
All right. So they agree to come over, and by the time that you're done, they have managed to subdue the bird. By subdue the bird, they have tied the bird up. Not horribly, but enough where it is pinned to the ground, and its wings are tied up to its body, so it can't spread them. The town, as this is happening, there's a fair bit of like, what the hell's going on? What in the owl's name is that? And like a number of these folks just like watching what is basically a street fight to them. And eventually your forces slowly move through the town, and the people just like slowly move out of the street and back towards the longhouse until your regiment and your tortoise, which by the way, Red, I need to ask you, would you want a siege tortoise or a war tortoise? I believe it is the siege tortoise that has the it basically is armored for close combat destroying fortifications, or do you want a ranged tortoise with a ballista on it? That'd be the war tortoise.
Well, I think the most advantageous for me would be siege, since I'm going to be laying sieges to many territories very soon. So being able to knock down fortress walls would be great.
Okay, that's fair. And these tortoises are all gopher tortoises, so they naturally are very good at undermining structures.
Well, they're sappers.
Yeah, exactly. So, in this instance, yeah, this giant, heavily armored tortoise with plating on its 2 forearms and its head comes up. And as these other troops, all arrayed for war, walk into the town, Arabelle, with your banner, walks to the front of this formation. And she plants her flag down in front of the town and says, "All right, enough. Return to your homes. No one will be harmed. But as of now, Bamwick is currently under our jurisdiction. You promise no one will be harmed during this transitionary period? So long as you don't take up arms, it won't even hurt the songbird. Hopefully. Right, my lord? She looks over at you, Giles, and the songbird at this point is it's starting to wake up, but it's clearly a little bit out of it.
Giles has the songbird by one of his little legs, and he's dragging it along. He's dragging it along behind him. Oh, no harm.
Right, no harm. Heard it from our commander himself. And he's as good as his word. And all the other mice nearby sort of look at this. There's some grumbling and some mumbling, and they all sort of go back into the longhouse. You can't say you've won over the hearts and minds of the people, but they certainly aren't fighting you for sure. There's no way this little town's militia would be able to stand against your military might by any stretch. This little farming town. After a couple of minutes, the songbird wakes up and its eyes narrow at you and it peeps angrily for a good 30 seconds in words I will not translate out of bird for the sake of this channel. And
Good
after
heavens. Tweet, tweet. Oh, but the audacity.
Eventually it slowly calms down and it narrows its eyes.
She's
Thank you. Appreciate that, Tisha. Thank you. It narrows its eyes at you. Serve you? How? Brute.
Between you and I, that tower, I meant to land on you, way a bit embarrassing. So I lost my temper.
You don't say.
He's just gonna crouch down in front, take the dad crouch and rest his elbows on his knees. So do you like serving Reek? Is it?
Bird looks at you for a second and it sort of has to turn its head a little bit to do so. And it turns facing you head on. So it's looking away and it turns back to you again. I can't say I'm overly enthusiastic about serving the owl, no. Not like I have much choice.
Well, you do now.
Warrior, you beat a songbird. And as much as I am proud of myself, I am no owl, and I am no reek. You intend to do that with one tortoise and a few mice. It sounds like you're planning on feeding it.
No. Ye of little faith. I have my ways. But in the meantime, in the interim, he's trying to appeal to this bird by using big words. I believe you could be of great use to me. And worst case, if we fail, you'll probably just go right back to where you were.
Reek will likely eat me if we fail, but
You could fly away.
it's an owl. It flies faster than me.
Oh,
And
aye,
at
but
night.
I think, between you and I think the ire will be upon yours truly, not you. You're just a part of you're a part of a greater plan.
You're making a persuade roll, so you're gonna, since you're not trained in that, make me a nature roll. If you fail, you will lose 1 point of nature. You'll be taxed 1 point of nature. If you succeed, you will get 1 pass in your persuader.
Excellent. Oh, that's when he's a persona to explode the 6, I guess, because that's really all I can do.
Okay.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Come on.
One of those days, isn't it?
Oh my god. So I lose in nature?
You do, just for now. Not the. You're down to rating 3 of 4.
Fair enough. I could.
You feel distinctly less mouse-like for a little bit. It's funny. It's you're becoming something else, inch by inch. Something a little less skittish and primal, and a little bit more dependent on other things, society and your people around you. Your mouse nature just gets a little more distant, but it's not gone yet. Not at all. Not by a long stretch. This bird sort of looks at you, and its eyes half lit. I surrender. I'd like to see something more impressive than that before I talk about working with you, but I will be your prisoner with you until then. Like I have a choice, as he says this with his little peep voice. But so be it. I at least appreciate that you haven't murdered me and eaten me yet. So we're already better than the owls there. Who knows, you might surprise me.
I have use for you. and not only that, I'll always have a use for you. And I'll treat you fairly. It's just, I had to give you the old Wolfram handshake.
Joy. And we're going to cut away from that scene
Mhm.
over to the other party now. So, across this region, off to the east, a very different situation is beginning to brew. Alrighty, my folks. So, I will be honest with you. We are now looking at warfare.
Oh boy.
So, first off, you might notice I've changed a couple things.
It looks nice.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's really
Thank you.
good.
I've gone and made terrain cards. Each of the terrain cards not only says what the terrain does according to the rules, but also it itself has some nice, I think it's slightly decent terrain on it. So you'll be able to see what the rules are for the terrain as well as where it is. If a creature or a thing fully occupies the space, it is benefiting or suffering from the effects of your terrain. The dividing line of this battlefield is in your favor in the south. So you can arrange yourselves here, down at the bottom. At the moment, you each have 3 regiments each, and I have made it so that you can control only your regiments. So,
Nice.
yeah, should be pretty straightforward. Red, you have your forces here as well, so that would be
Nice.
down in... That's actually in the up top right. Sienna, you have your forces off to the left, and Derek, you have your forces to the right.
Nice.
It is up to you to decide where you wish to place your dudes. You have anywhere you can put them.
What does Mud say? Mud says
I will.
any unit in the mud must march in order to move one space and does not benefit from any bonuses to movement. Ooh, I
Yeah. So mud
see.
slows your troops. You basically have to move. I had to commit fully to a move to go through mud. Remember, you can move diagonally.
Mhm.
The terrain here where you've been, as I would remind you, was muddy as all hell last time. Slippery and gross. You're not quite in a fen, but you're in sort of that crappy muddy area around one. There is still lots of tree cover around here, and also even like scrub and brush, as after all, forest to a mouse is anything bigger than a bunch of weeds. So you have some cover.
Where are my
will say
shooters
that-
at?
over here, these little guys, the shot mice, these would be the ones that are under command of. Those are the ones that are under the command of Sienna. And don't forget this dividing line right here. You can only put stuff on the bottom half. You cannot put it on the top.
Yeah.
The other ones for you, Derek, Expedition War Weasels, you should have
I don't see
some
my
archers.
shooters. I don't see my Judas.
So let's see. So you have spear mice, your war weasels. There's the shield bearers, swords mice. So I guess, give me a second. You should have a unit of archers. I will do. Oh, I see what happened.
Natalie, you should leave that space open because that's going to force them to move in a a non-ideal positioning where they can potentially be attacked from 2 people at once.
I'd
Leaving
like
that
to have
open.
my shield bearers somewhere up front, so maybe you can not take up all that real estate.
There is up here you could take.
Yeah, if you're not planning
That's
on
where I
moving
have
them,
it.
well, if you're not planning on moving them, then by putting them in the mud, you're incentivizing the enemy to move around them. And if
Could
you're
I
putting,
also make a
They're not
suggestion as well for you?
mud.
The forests can be occupied, and they in fact give you cover from archers, which Sienna already has. So Sienna doesn't really need them. But if you wanted to move either the war weasels or the spear mice into the forest, it
Yeah.
would leave that spot open for you.
but let's put them right here in the forest. Do you want to
Okay,
take that
got
front line up there, Natalie?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
it. Okay, cool. Awesome.
It's cute. My little boys are concealed.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. Okay, cool. So, as the day goes on and you're arranging your troops, in the distance, that clanging gets louder and louder. And eventually, you see the what is apparently another vanguard force. It is not a full army, but it is something descending upon you. And it is significantly better equipped than the last one you fought. There are multiple units of bonds mice, because of course there are, as these largely red-haired and red-covered mice, many of whom are dyed in various colors, are all advancing up. But you see something else a little weird too. Something you've never seen before, and suddenly the realization hits you as to what on earth was that fracking clicking. And it becomes very apparent. They said to you before, the Fox Council are tinkerers. They were not lying. Approaching across the battlefield are a number of mice wearing little furry cloaks, and in front of them are these horrifying clockwork devices, these weird balls of brass and steel and sharpened edges. And these mice, as I am making sure that you can all see them. Oh, here we go. Need to show it to all players. There we go. These mice move these little things the size of a wheelbarrow in front of them, made out of metal, with a little handle on top.
Fuck, they're
And all
on
these little
Beyblades.
Yeah, pretty much. These little things make this loud click, 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 ting, click, 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 ting, click, 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 ting, as they move forward, being pushed by these mice like wheelbarrows. And you can see what the ting is, as every couple of rotations of the wheel, a blade from the inside sticks out and rakes across the ground almost like a plow and comes back in. And you can see a group of these guys moving into position, and then another, as these little things get closer. And now I get to grab them. Copy.
This is awesome, but I don't like that it's against me.
I thought you wouldn't. One of these things occupies a forest. And the other, if I can get you out from underneath it. Yeah, that's right. You should be under there. There you go. That's good. The other one is out over here. And you can see they've been slogging through the mud this whole time. This really crappy, unpleasant experience the whole way through it. But they're getting there. And while they do that, more troops move into the back. Before, you had just archers to worry about. But now this weird, almost looks like a ballista, but there's no giant arrow in it, marches forward. And these mice drop it, and you can see it, little two arms on it just sort of ching, 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 pop out, and it almost looks like a slingshot. And one of the two mice who man it walk up with this little tiny wooden disc, these two metal balls on it. It almost looks like a spool. And they click it onto a thing. And the mouse behind begins to grum, 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 step on this little wheel, and it begins to rev up as you can see spinning a flywheel internally.
So Dukan is going to turn to Squeeb and Grimble and go,
We are taking that.
Squeeb looks up at you and goes, yes, and just sort of
I'm
has
about
this
that thing on the
giant grin.
fucking tortoise, bro. It's going to be anti-infantry protection.
And finally,
I'm processing everything through terms of Total War.
I'm glad. I was hoping for that. And likewise, off over here by the forest, you can see plowing their way out this group of like 12 mice with a bunch of little like leather straps on them. And in front of them, a huge number of what look like centipedes and beetles and ants all clambering over each other as yet more insectress take to the battlefield. I'm just making sure I got these numbers right. Yes, it's correct. You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you have 6 troops, correct. Okay, so they are arrayed against you. Okay, my friends, we are approaching that 3-hour mark. Shall we resume this next session?
That sounds fair to me.
Back to you, buddy.
Well, I feel blue-balled, but it is late, and
Combat will probably take a
Yeah.
while.
warfare takes a bit usually, so that is fair. Well, Omni, thank you for running a killer session, man. That was an absolute blast, as always, dude.
Probably.
My pleasure. I love you guys. It's always a pleasure to run for you.
Well, pleasure to play for you. You are a fantastic GM, and I am grateful. Let's do our shout-outs, folks. Natalie, what's up?
Not much for a while. I don't think we have any stream this weekend.
Nope.
Or at least I don't have any.
I don't have any
this
stream on
weekend.
Saturday.
And yeah, and next weekend is my birthday
Yeah.
weekend, so
I'll stream that
I'll be
weekend.
Celebrating that. You stream that weekend?
I said so. No
So you
stream
said-
that week. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, no stream
Yeah,
that
you would be.
weekend,
You'd
yeah.
totally be fine with me streaming on your birthday weekend. Yeah, I'm totally gonna.
That's why
Yeah.
I was like, I was not aware of that. But yeah, so I guess I will be back the Wednesday after that Thursday. I keep forgetting we switch days. I'll be back the Thursday after that for Mouse Guard, and then I'm not sure, but Derek will keep you guys up to date.
For sure.
That's about it for me.
Thank you, Natalie. Thank you for being here. I love you. I appreciate you as always. And Omni, what's good in your hood, dude?
Hello, everyone. I'm the last Omnitech, your favorite robot American, and the GM for Mouse Guard the Frontier. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much for tuning in. I tend to do most of the art for this game. There are a couple of these that are not drawn by me. As an example, Santa the Small was drawn by our illustrious Natalie, and Giles the Aloof was drawn by the impeccable Red, who can tell you more about his amazing things. But as for me, I tend to do world building, art streaming, and rule smithing on my channel, twitch.tv/The Last Omnitech, all one word. You can find it right there. I'm also on on Twitter under the same name and Instagram under the same name. And I'm working on getting onto YouTube, but right now I got nothing on it. Don't worry about it. We'll get there when we get there. As far as otherwise, I run 3 games. This one, Mouse Guard the Frontier, right here, every other Thursday. I'm going to correct
We're all
myself.
doing it now.
Yeah. Every other Thursday. Every Thursday that we're not doing Mouse Guard, I'm running Wild Skies of Etanria on my Twitch channel, my Lighter Than Air Pathfinder 2e adventure with, in fact, 2 of our members here, Red and Derek, as well as also my amazing fiance, Bon, and also our lovely friends, Dylan and Skag. It has been a genuine pleasure to run that game so far, and my first ever Pathfinder-y, classical, high fantasy style game. And then
I'm
finally,
crushing it.
thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. And every other Saturday, we are running Legacy First Flight. Normally, we would be running it not this weekend, but next weekend, but we're going to respect that birthday. So, not that week. But yeah, other than that, tune in, see what we're working on. We're usually working on something, and it's a pleasure to have you guys here. Thank you all for playing. I love you all immensely. It makes me very happy to come back to this. So thank you.
Yeah, buddy. Thank you for always doing it, man. Much love, much appreciation as always.
Always a pleasure.
Red, how's it going, my moving man?
Oh, yeah, I'm red. I'm one of the primary colors, and I'm in the process of moving out. A lot of stuff to do, and the way I experience stress, I experience it in reverse, so it probably won't hit me until 2 or 3 weeks after I'm like all settled in. So in the meantime, a lot of my projects are going to kind of be wishy-washy. I do run streams. I'm going to be moving over to more YouTube content in the near future. I plan on doing draft and general limited environment Magic the Gathering related content, including commander content with all the people here, hopefully, at some point. And
Cheers.
yeah, I'll probably be doing deck tech, stuff like that. I'm not a great deck builder, but I think I'm a pretty good pilot. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Hopefully get a book out in the near future. One of the games I'm running that is coming up, and no, I did not forget about this, and I'm sure y'all did, but I am going to be running Band of Blades very soon. Like I said, it's on hiatus during the move, but I got the physical book, so that should confirm things. I'm still working on it. Okay, I promise.
Sick, dude. Hell yeah.
But in the meantime, I got a coffee and a Patreon. You can find me on Patreon at Redemption Proxies, I believe. I don't know. Just look up Redemption and you'll find it eventually. And Coffee, Redemption VA. I do maps. I just posted a new map. $250 a month. You get 4 maps. Pretty good deal.
They're very good.
Thank you. I really like the one I just posted. It's very tranquil. But other than that, I appreciate everybody's support. Be it just giving me well wishes, financially supporting. That's huge. I'll never expect that out of anybody, but I really appreciate it. But I should be back. I might do a stream this Saturday if nobody else is, because this is the only Saturday I'm going to have off for a while, because I'm going to be opening a new restaurant. I got a management position there. They gave me the absolute maximum pay they could give me at the new place. So
let's go.
Making $19 an hour to run a restaurant, so that's going to be fun.
Huge moves, bro. That's fantastic.
I'm just a shift manager too, so like that's not even the ceiling for me. And they're,
it's not even my final form.
Not even my final form. But yeah, appreciate everybody's patience. I've really been missing Mouse Guard. I've really been missing. I'm really missing a lot of the streams. Covet and Death Watch. It sucks, but hopefully I'll be back to morning shifts pretty soon, and that's kind of looks that way. But I'll keep everybody updated. But do expect to stream. Trying to remember when Soldiers of Fortune is. Is it this coming Monday, or would it be the Monday after?
I know that we will not be available for the Monday after, so
this coming Monday,
this Monday, then we can probably do it.
Yeah, because I had to. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Soldiers of Fortune. We'll pick up with that. Call of Cthulhu is going to skip a little bit because I can't do. I obviously didn't do it today because moving. Today's my move-in day. So yeah. Anyway, I'm talking a lot, and I got a lot going on. I probably haven't mentioned half of what I'm doing, but I'm just very scatterbrained. I appreciate everybody's patience. Thank you.
You're good, dude. I love you. I'm just grateful to have you because I miss you, and
I miss you guys too.
Yeah, same.
Man, it's good to have you. Well,
Definitely.
thank you, Red, for being here. Much love, much appreciation as always. Folks, just in case you didn't know, you can get 10% off a DMDM Studios Dice Case kit by using code RPGIN at checkout, but there is, I still believe, a 20% sale going on a lot of the stuff going on there, including a whole lot of also including a whole lot of fantastic deals over on ko-fi.com/theshadysale. So use that link. Check out what's on. I know Natisha is in the process of moving as well, and she has a lot of inventory. So help her clear some of that out and get yourself some cool stuff. Thank you, Natisha. We love you. We appreciate you as always. I will be live next tomorrow playing Darker Stars alongside one of the homies that we are raiding into right now, which is Dan Pixel. They are playing Disco Elysium, so I know that's a really cool game. I've never played it. I've heard it's really good, but make some noise, be positive when we get in there. The raid message, what should the raid message be? Only in death does duty end.
Nice. Approved.
And then use RIP Bozo if you have it. As All right. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Next, I'll be live tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time with Darker Stars, hosted by Souls Rules. It's a blast. I'm playing a Plasma Boy, and I cannot wait. Then next, after that, Soldiers of Fortune on Red's channel, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Is it my end or audio issues? I'm showing that I'm coming in loud and clear.
Yeah. I can see you, I think.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of time. Death Watch on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then on Thursday, Skies of Batanria at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, I should say 7:30 p.m. Central Standard, or not Central Standard Time. 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Good night. I love you. Goodbye.